I witnessed it not with thunder, not when it collapses it was inconspicuous, like, too, the gentle shutting of a door that you were unaware had been opened. You didn't yell that you weren't trying. You didn't say that you were exhausted of hope. However, I noticed the change. I sensed the shift. I could tell when your dreams ceased to seem feasible, not because they had died, but rather because you had lost faith in them. You made adjustments, wouldn't you? You started to adopt a persona that made life easier to handle, more acceptable and more tolerable. A rendition that served, performed, smiled and worked, but didn't really fly from the outside. It seemed to be maturity, development, and resilience. However, your creator, saw the wound behind the well-polished exterior. Behind the quiet I could see the sadness. If you believe God is always with you, type 111 and forward this video to 7 others. You believed I had forgotten. You reasoned that maybe someone more competent, more qualified, or more resilient had taken your position, or that perhaps the opportunity had gone through your fingers. However, none of it was accurate. I kept watching, I kept phoning, and I never stopped looking at the one I made. In the beginning, before terror attempted to numb your memory, there wasn't a single spectacular fall. Was there? It was more like little pieces. Moments that eroded your bravery, disappointments that told falsehoods about your value, perceived or actual failures that suggested you may not have been destined for greatness after all. But listen to me. Your power was never intended to carry the dream. I gave you my presence, my might, and my breath were always going to be necessary. You started carrying it by yourself, and when it became too heavy, you put it down discreetly in the hopes that no one would see. However, I took note, not with censure, not with annoyance. However, with empathy that surpasses all of your past fears, you folded your wings and I saw it. How you told yourself in a whisper that staying low was simpler than taking a chance on falling again. You just ceased thinking that. I still enjoyed working through you. You didn't stop believing in me. You still stood where you were needed, spoke and served. Something altered inside of you, yet you clung to your faith and action. A silent resignation developed. You ceased to anticipate happiness. Instead of fullness, you opted for utility. You changed into a version of yourself that made other people feel at ease, but it also made you feel different from the person you used to be. Your love and support mean everything to us as we continue sharing God's message of hope, faith, and blessings. If this message has touched your heart, We humbly invite you to show your gratitude by giving at least $11. Super thanks are your choice each month. Whoever can give super thanks, please give as much as possible. And whoever cannot, please try to read this message completely. Your generosity helps us create more uplifting content that inspires souls and brings people closer to God. By clicking the Super Thanks button below, you're not just supporting our work, you're becoming a part of this divine mission to spread God's love to those who need it most. Thank you for your kindness. Stay blessed, stay joyful, and may God's grace always be with you. You must hear this. I never asked you to compromise your sensitivity in order to survive, to remain helpful. I never asked you to hide your tenderness. Your excellence was not the basis for my calling. In your life, my love was always at its core. Type 222 if you are ready for God's favor in your life. Your calling persisted even as your confidence waned. You were still valuable, even while you squirmed in terror. Sleep doesn't alleviate a certain kind of fatigue, a spiritual rather than bodily form of tiredness. I saw that kind of fatigue descend upon you, the sort that caused you to wonder whether your voice still mattered, if your prayers still touched my heart, and if I still desired your participation in my work on earth. Yes is the response. Yes, 1,000 times over. I don't see you as invisible. We don't forget you. It's not too late to hurt or too unclear for you. Actually, I draw the closest to you because of your uncertainties. I give you the strongest love when you feel most unworthy. I don't find your hesitancy repulsive. I like how honest you are. You believe that you have let me down. However, I don't use failure to gauge progress. Your heart is what I'm looking at, not your mistakes. You've persuaded yourself that the once bright flame has extinguished, but it's still shining, kid. Only layers of exhaustion and self-defense have hidden that flame which hasn't gone out. To dream again, you've learned to repress the pain. I'm here to bring it back to life. However, what if I informed you that there is nothing you have missed, that you've been prepared by, the time you believed was wasted? What if this subdued season served as a prelude to a more profound revelation, rather than a punishment? I've been waiting for you to come back, not to do more but to believe once again, while you've been waiting for me to move, to going back to your first love, to be the unaltered, uncensored and fearlessly hopeful version of oneself. This isn't about performance. I want you to hear me clearly now. This has nothing to do with polishing your presence or mending what you think is flawed. This has to do with remembering a heavenly comeback, a resurgence of spirituality Allow me to remind you of your identity. You are the person I secretly made and called. Before you ever spoke a word, even when the world is noisy, only you can hear my voice. I continue to entrust my heart, my intentions, and my glory to you. If you trust God's plan, type 333 and forward this video to 7 others. For your objective, you do not have to audition. You don't have to win my approval. I've already arrived, never have I left. Furthermore, I haven't altered my views regarding you. The silent tears you shed, I managed to capture them. The half-believing murmured prayers, I heard them. The dreams you reluctantly buried, I clung to them for the youngster inside of you, who once dared to think they were intended for more. I am still here, that child who, sensing my presence, danced joyfully, the person who felt worthy without a title, a stage, or applause. You are still that person. I still see that person. Therefore, let's begin over with submission, rather than struggling, not with elaborate schemes, but with straightforward faith. Let's start with identification rather than insecurity, not from resistance but from rest. You're still eligible. It's not too late. You are mine, not lost in the throng of those who are more ready, in full profoundly. Forever come as you are to me, without repairing, without evidence, not fainting, simply come. I'll breathe on what's left. What has been buried will be roused by me. I'll bring the wonder back. When your yes comes from a place of serenity, let me demonstrate what I am capable of. Allow me to show you how to move from closeness rather than desperation. I've already created place for you, so you don't have to struggle for it. I'm not sorry I choose you. I didn't, even if you made mistakes, even if you have doubts, even when you disregarded your own wants in order to save yourself further suffering. I still choose you. You believe that in order to complete my task, I would need a more powerful version of you. But what if I didn't ever need your strength? What if I was only waiting for you to be open, honest, and raw, so I could once again walk freely in your life? You have a part to play still. Something precious is still in your possession. You are still important. Breathe then. The deep breath of faith, not the small breath of survival. Drop your shoulders, relax your hands. I already committed to hold that, so you don't need to. Allow me to be the one to repair what time has attempted to destroy. Allow me to bring you back into the light, not to perform, but just to be. If you believe in the power of God's love, type 440 and share this video. You've been shrinking, concealing, and proving for far too long. It's time to rise peacefully, not with a commotion, not with protection, but with joy. This is where you belong. This is where you belong. You were a part of the discussion. I should hold you, you're not in the rear. You are no longer a shadow of who you were. I'm not hurrying your healing process, since you are a soul in recovery. All I'm trying to say is that healing does not make you ineligible. It really makes you eligible. You're not lost. Truth, love, and grace are rewriting you. This is not the end of the narrative. By no means so, dear. Let's start again, not under duress, but with assurance. Not out of haste, but out of pure affection. Let's begin in the location of my unwavering fidelity, not where you last failed. Your tale is still being written by me, and I use ink that is permanent. You're not too easily broken. You haven't gone too far, you're not too much. You are insufficient, my child. Walk boldly in faith and love. With your super thanksgiving, let the truth of my word reach those who long for the light. Join me in this divine mission to heal and uplift. Click on the super thanksgiving button and be enveloped in my grace now. And listen to this message further. The person I still see is you. The one I continue to choose. The one I still adore. Drop those barriers, breathe out of that heart. Allow the boy or girl you once were to wander again. Allow me to be the one who makes everything whole again. You were mine not because you deserved it. I still have faith in you too. The following is confirmation for the comments. God still has faith in me. I'm not lagging, I'm not forgotten. His destiny is still with me. You have inquired as to whether it is too late to go back. My dear, you've questioned if the spark is still there. Allow me to respond to you in the only manner I know how, with unwavering truth. What I put in you cannot be undone by weariness, time, or failure. The spark is still alive. It has only been concealed behind the burden of things you were never intended to bear, alone and the dust of despondency. Type Amen if you believe God is working in your life right now. You are not being called upon to find what you have lost. The call is for you to discover what has always been. I was still there behind every exhausted sigh, under every quiet letdown, under every maybe this isn't for me. You said when no one was there. I continued to maintain the flames. Being exceptional in other people's eyes is not the goal of this season. You are entering. Regaining your holiness in mind is the goal. Recovering lost time is not the goal of this race. This is a gradual return to your design's completeness. The self you believe you have lost, I hold on to it forever. I protected it. I'm giving it back to you now. I am aware that you have prayed for breakthroughs, and rapid transformation. However, I also work on the little miracles, the slow unfolding, the restoration in silence, the type of metamorphosis that reverberates into eternity. Rather than screaming for attention, allow me to accompany you on this walk, not only on the peak, but also in the valley. Allow me to meet you not only in your confidence, but also in your doubt. Not only the arriving, but the rebuilding is what I want to be near to. You believe that you should have a lot of faith, but I really want your whole heart, even if it is shaking. Bring me your doubt, your shaky clasp, your tentative affirmative. I get it all, I'll also double it. I'm not requesting that you jump. All I'm asking is that you proceed once again, even at a sluggish pace, even in silence. Moving ahead is moving forward. Speed is not a measure of progress. Surrender is. Many of the labels you've worn were never mine, but they weren't my words. Not enough, too emotional, too slow, and too broken. One traumatic experience at a time. Life led you to believe those falsehoods. However, I am undermining their names. Strength for me, you are not too much. I want to utilize someone just like you, the one I choose while nobody else was around, the one that I muttered over before. You had ever been let down once? If you love Jesus, type 666 and share this video with 7 others who believe. I'm regaining your identity as well as your strength. I'm removing any traces of remorse, anxiety, uncertainty, and humiliation. You did not inherit them. These realities are not yours. The words chosen, loved, called, and worthy have always been your true names. I don't need to be persuaded to remain. You may sit at my table without having to prove yourself. There you already belong. You've always done so. Allow me to rekindle your amazement, the type that gave you hope that miracles may happen, the type that gave you a sense of security in my embrace, the sort that had no backup plan and dared to dream. Yes, you have grown up. However, spiritual numbness and maturity are not the same thing. Avoid referring to self-preservation as wisdom. I see what you've described as outgrowing your old self, as losing your spark, and I'd want to return it. I want you to be free again, not because I need you to be the same person you were before. Happy once again, curious, once again soft. You've been through a lot. It's time to enjoy once again, however. Allow me to teach you the holy beat of relaxation and joy. Allow me to bring back your laughter. Allow me to revive your night with tunes. You're not going to spend your days just getting by. You'll stroll with the simplicity of recognition and visibility. It can seem to the outside world that you are beginning again. To me, however, you're just going back back to the course we always intended to take together. Your spirit has only grown deeper as the result of every detour, halt and season of stillness. What seemed to be a postponement was really planning. I was always at your side. I didn't look away, I was the closest to you. When you felt the most alone, when you believed you were crawling, I carried you when you thought I was quiet. I spoke when you believed I had ceased moving. I was really mending you. Now I say get up and healing. Not in hurry, with fire in your soul and calm in your chest ascend. Rise with compassion encased in bravery. Rise because you're ready to be totally alive once again. Not because you have anything to prove. You're always asking yourself, have I missed it? Have I gone too far? Was my absence too long? But clearly hear this. The plan is not canceled. You are not too late. The vision is still alive. I'm still with you if you believe in the power of faith. Type 666 and like this video. I see foundations where you see ruins. I refer to what you see. A closed door is a divine redirection. Your mission does not stop here. The beginning of your rejuvenation is now. Additionally, it will be sweeter than you first thought. Not because you put in more effort, but rather because you have more faith today. Your life has continued to be anointed by me. The presents I gave you are still valid. I don't give people I care about expiry dates. I make amends, I come back. I repair, you've searched everywhere for acceptance. But let me remind you that my presence is enough. My approval is enough, my affection is plenty. Allow me to define who you are. Allow me to be the one to fill you, hold you and raise you. My request is for you to come in honesty, not strength. In my company you are free to weep in my arms. You may struggle, you may be held. Even if you ask questions, your safe haven is me, I am not weak. You have not let me down, let go of this striving. Drop the masks here, let your soul breathe. I never requested your polish. Your heart was all I ever asked for. You don't play a supporting role in someone else's narrative. You do more than merely support other people's aspirations. Something holy is in your possession. Something particular, a need for the globe. You can still influence how things plays out. And you are the only one who can bear it. You contribute a fragrance, a sound, and a sensibility that only your adventure can provide. Being loud is not a prerequisite for having power. You don't have to be well known for me to utilize you. All you have to do is be willing. Simply be yourself with me wherever you are. That's plenty to alter the mood. That is sufficient to change fates. That's sufficient to win my heart. I'm inviting you to return home. my dear, to a position, not a location, the position of an awakened spirit, open hands and unclenched fists. Return home your tenderness. You'll chuckle when you get home. Dreams come true when you return home. Return home to who you are. Come to me at home, type 777. If you trust in God's timing and plan for you. Since we last met, I have remained in the same location. I have waited impartially. Your seat at the table has been held by me. I still address you by name too. Not the way you performed, not your suffering, your name. We don't forget you, you're not invisible. You're not like the others. You are mine. Let this be the chapter in which you rise again, peacefully rather than exhausted, to truly embrace who you are, not to prove yourself, to get what I've kept, not to get back what you've lost. You have changed from the individual who left. You've gone deeper, smarter, more sympathetic, more exquisite. You're more prepared than ever. I still have faith in you too. You, the one who almost gave up. That is the one who almost quit. The person who doubted their worth. The one who continued to appear after breaking in. Stealthily, I think you'll be restored. I trust your voice. I think you have a purpose. I think you're a soft person. I think you'll come back, and I always will. The following is confirmation for the comments. I'm becoming the person God intended me to be. He still has faith in me. I am sufficient. You're simply here, not attempting to impress or do anything they're inhaling, becoming softer, listening, willing, and for me, it is sufficient. You've believed for a long time that, in order to be eligible for mobility, you must demonstrate strength. However, lover, it's your existence, not your perfection, that draws me closer. Your mask doesn't appeal to me. I'm attracted to your spirit, and now your soul has arrived. Let me state this clearly. You are free to move. You are able to talk. Try it. You're not stranded. You're not in the rear. You're still eligible. You're becoming. You're going back once again. You are breathing, and it's okay to start off small. Who said every act of faith had to be great or dramatic? Who said that mending needed to be noisy? Who told you that change is only significant when it is accompanied by praise? I don't work like that. I don't move like that. The gentle is where I am. The quiet is where I am. Even if there is just a little movement, I am in the next appropriate step. To claim your blessings, type 888 and like this video. If you believe, the next step may be as easy as taking up the pen. Once again, perhaps it involves speaking the words out, despite your voice quivering. Perhaps it's the decision to relax. mourn or celebrate perhaps. It's finally letting go of things that don't match with who you're becoming. Or yes, to the novel idea that calms you yet frightens you. No matter how it seems, be aware of this. I'll see you there. I'm not asking that you have no fear. I'm requesting that you be present. You don't need to be ready for me to wait. I'm awaiting your real behavior. Because I move to real, your soul starts to awaken in real. Courage develops on the soul of real. What did you name fear? You see, I view it as the resurgence of life. You are no longer frozen, you're not hiding. You're present, you're still here. You're on the go once again, and you have my utmost admiration. There were no trumpets for the shift. Banners weren't used to announce it. However, it did occur. At last, something inside of you whispered, I can't abandon myself any longer. And you don't realize how important that moment was. You're not getting up for performance this time. You're not trying to live up to someone else's expectations this time. You're not abandoning aspects of yourself this time. You have experienced what it's like to live a life that is detached. You've put on the survival armor to please others. You have muted your own heart. Additionally, you lost more than you gained. You're now discovering what it means to live with your soul intact, however. Selfishness is not what this is. Independence from me is not what this is. When your inner world and outer actions match, you experience alignment, the divine sort. When you quit altering your aspirations to fit in, when you cease feeling sorry for how you feel, when you quit changing the tone of your voice to sound like someone else's, you're not an error, you're not too delicate. You're not too sensitive, it's still not too late. You are mine, you are also sufficient. Allow me to reinterpret what it means to go ahead. It's not a race. It's not a race, it isn't a contest type. Almond to receive divine guidance from God. It's a string of holy decisions, a return to movement that is peace, rather than pressure-like, and your body will notice. When you start walking in step with me once again, your shoulders will become more relaxed. Your jaw will relax, your thoughts will lag. You'll inhale more deeply. Your soul will mutter, this is correct. This beat is something I recall. You will be aware of what to do even if dread arises. You'll pause, you will breathe. You'll remember I've changed since I froze. I've changed since I gave up. I remain here, I still want to. I remain his. This is not a narrow road filled with shame. It doesn't have strict regulations. It is gracefully broad, it is mercifully open. And at the end of it, I won't be waiting for you. You and I are walking it together. Each step, every hesitancy. Each trembling yes. Each faltering effort, you're not alone yourself. You weren't, I am aware. You didn't stop moving because you didn't want to, but that was one of the reasons. The reason for this was your inability to look far enough ahead. If I knew how this ends, maybe I'd find the courage to begin. You thought. I didn't ask you to plan the future. However, kid, I never expected you to know everything. You had a strategy, which is why I didn't choose you. You have a heart that responds, which is why I choose you. You don't have to view the whole route. All you have to do is go forward with me. It has always been sufficient. It's still sufficient. You have nothing to prove. All you need to do is think that I'm still with you. When you walk, I am too. There will be more seasons to come. You are no longer starting from the same location. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You are no longer under pressure to have a 5-year plan in order to feel safe. You're learning to rely on trust rather than deadlines. Instead of building from insecurity, you are learning to build from identity. You're discovering that being obedient doesn't need attention. Your yes this time is based on love rather than fear. You won't give up on your heart this time. This time, you'll remain near me and connected to yourself. You've seen the price of disconnecting. You will now realize the benefits of completeness. You'll discover happiness in the mundane. In the silence you will recognize me. What previously seemed broken will become beautiful to you because you have changed from who you were. You've gained wisdom, you've softened. Now you're more you. And I want to pass through them precisely so sure. Go ahead, not quickly. Not desperate, simply free. Allow yourself to evolve in order to respect who you are becoming, not to catch up or impress. Allow yourself to live, because life is stirring in your bones. Once again, not for the approval of others. You deserve to relax, but I've called you to it. So give it to yourself. Type 999 if you trust God to guide your path. Clarity is not necessary to be loyal. All you have to keep in mind is this: I agree with you, I wasn't, always have been. I shall always be. The future could still seem hazy, but your soul feels that now is the appropriate time. You're not in a hurry, you and I are strolling in time, and you won't abandon yourself this time. You're prepared, not that everything is flawless, not because all fears have vanished. However, your yes is genuine. And with genuine I can accomplish so much. The following is confirmation for the comments. I'm not in the rear, I am not ineligible. With God and all of my heart, I am going forward. Please subscribe to support our channel and turn on bell notification